How's it going, everybody? So, a new match has been added to the Survivor Series card that we will see on this Sunday night on the special event. Yes, I call it special event, not pay-per-view, because I watch it on the WWE Network. Now, the match is Tyler Breeze with Summer Rae versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, this is a match we already speculated was going to happen soon, whether it was Survivor Series, TLC. We knew this was going to happen. We just didn't know exactly when. A lot of us thought Survivor Series. Maybe some of us thought that it was going to, like I said, wait till TLC. Guess they're not waiting to go on this feud. They've been feuding ever since Lana and Rusev's engagement came out on TMZ. And WWE Creative had to drop that storyline, and they made the new storyline. Summer Rae went with Tyler Breeze. And Tyler Breeze is basically the evolution of Dolph Ziggler. He's the more pretty boy. And this could be a pretty good feud. I've been liking what we've seen so far with Tyler Breeze on the main roster. He's doing pretty good, great on NXT, and I don't think they're underutilizing him on the main roster. I think him versus Dolph Ziggler is a pretty good feud at the moment for his first feud in WWE. Of course, he'll eventually move on to other feuds and whatnot, but as of right now, it's doing pretty good. So this should be an interesting match at Survivor Series. Next up, we have Becky Lynch is not taking time off. As we noted yesterday, it was reported that Becky Lynch would be taking time off to go home in Dublin, Ireland after the whole UK tour for WWE. And I stated that it made sense if she wanted to go home because she was already overseas. Why come back to the States just to fly back? It was right there anyways. And she could have. She's been doing really good on the main roster whenever she got time. I've been an advocate of Becky Lynch saying that she needs more time because WWE is not really using her to her maximum potential at the moment. And I get it because Charlotte and Paige are feuding at the moment. But you could still really use her. And on Twitter, a fan said the same thing, basically saying that WWE needs to smarten up with Becky Lynch and how they use her. And another fan on Twitter basically stated that, the reason they're not using it is because she's going to take time off. And Becky Lynch replied to them saying that she is not taking any time off. This is good news to hear because hopefully she is a presence, whether it's in Charlotte's corner, whether Charlotte wins against Paige and Becky wants the title, whatever it is. I really want Becky Lynch to show that she's a presence because she's a wrestler that I actually really like in the ring and her personality. Next up, we have John Cena is appearing on the first USA Network Smackdown. As of this moment, John Cena is being advertised for the January 5th Smackdown taping from Laredo, Texas. This will be the very first Smackdown episode that will broadcast on the USA Network after the whole deal where USA Network now airs Raw and Smackdown. Of course, there are other superstars that are being advertised for the event. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Sheamus, Bray Wyatt, Del Rio, Owens, Ziggler, Harper, Strowman, WWE Divas, and a whole lot more. And this should be a very exciting SmackDown. First SmackDown of the year, and it's going to be the first SmackDown on the USA Network. Hopefully, they learn their lesson on Sci-Fi and they realize that SmackDown shouldn't just be a recap show. It should be another show. It should be able to do twice of what you can do because as of right now with WWE, whatever they do on Raw, they basically do the same thing on SmackDown, if not just say what happened on Raw on SmackDown. What they should be doing is using half of their superstars on Raw and the other half on SmackDown. You don't have to have brand extensions, but you can still prioritize certain wrestlers and feuds and make them both so they can be able to last longer and people can be exposed to so many other wrestlers that are backstage that don't get a lot of time, especially Neville. As of right now, he is kind of a jobber, and if they use them well on SmackDown, he could be having some great feuds and be going over so much. Next up and lastly, we have Triple H comments on Hulk Hogan returning to the WWE. Now, didn't hear earlier this year, Hulk Hogan was fired by the WWE because of a certain thing that got leaked on the internet. Not really gonna say what it is because you should already know what it is, and if you don't, just Google it on why Hulk Hogan got fired. It's as simple as that. As of right now, he is not working with the WWE. He's working with other promotions now. He has some deals going on, and I'm happy for him that he's just not in the gutter. He's trying to reestablish himself. He's trying to rebrand himself. And that's what Triple H says too, that he's optimistic for a Hogan return in the WWE. It's just going to take a while because some people are going to associate Hogan with whatever he said, that word or phrase. And even though personally, I don't think it was such a bad word anyways, I think Vince has said worse stuff even on live television, and what Hogan said was in a private video that was never supposed to be released and was by accident. But I think eventually people will get over it. I think at the moment people are over it. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people know it. Only the people that are into the WWE, like into the whole news aspect of pro wrestling, the people who do that are the ones who know. I think the general audience really don't know what happened. But he is optimistic. He says that Hogan just has to rebrand himself and basically just come up. It's gonna be a year from now or whatever, maybe it could be longer, but Hogan will return is what Triple H says. Triple H basically says that when you're on top like Hogan was, people want to see you fall, but what the best thing is when you make that comeback. And I think Hogan will. Triple H thinks he will too, and I can't wait for that comeback for Hogan because he deserves it. He is the guy who brought up the WWE.